My friends, there are no free rides. That's all that Donald Trump said to NATO. So why is everyone up in arms? My friends, I just don't get it. Everyone wants freebies. Well, if you're NATO, if you're major European countries like Germany, you don't get freebies. The thing that's killing Germany is it's giving out too many freebies to the wrong people. So Trump says he wants everyone to pay their fair share, and the liberals have found something else to screech about. I'm Howard Riell. By the way, this is Riell Truth, 877-254-7524. Item from the conservative treehouse.com. President Trump's political opposition, including most swamp media, MSM, mainstream media, have claimed he went too far calling out NATO members for their lack of funding their own military and security apparatus. During Trump's latest trip to NATO, he stated publicly they need to improve and do it quickly. The media expressed the position that Donald Trump was too direct. However, what the media never shows is how far out of balance the entire financial system is for NATO. The members of NATO agreed to spend at least 2% of their GDP on their own internal defense and security, unquote. My friends, 3 of 28 member nations pay their fair share. 3 of 28. The United States foots the bill for something like between 70 and 80% of NATO. Why the hell should we? How is that fair? Now, if liberals want to scream, before they do, they've got to answer the question, what's wrong with fairness? What's wrong with people doing their fair share, people being responsible for themselves? Well, never ask that of a liberal, because the liberals are the ones who gave us the blessing of welfare and food stamps, where, yes, some people need help, absolutely, but an awful lot of people are on welfare because they just don't feel like working, getting food stamps, trying to spend it in casinos or strip clubs. The Democrat Party is the party of free stuff, of freebies. Let the government pay for it. You just watch yourself fall. NATO thinks it's going to slime by in the same way. Thank God we got a guy like Trump who says, wait a minute, it's not fair. And he's right. Don't wait for the major media to agree with Trump. They won't. Don't wait for them to say, yeah, every member nation of NATO should be paying its fair share, because they won't. The major media, NATO, the European countries, they're all leftists, all liberals. They all hang together. Birds of a stupid feather flock together. And so NATO countries think they should get a free ride, just like the mainstream media thinks it should get a free ride. Let them spout all kinds of lies and slander and propaganda, and that's okay, because after all, they're the media. Not anymore. It's Tuesday. It's the only day this week we're on the air. It's Riell Truth. We'll be back.
This is Michael, Control. The American Freedom Network needs your please call 245. That's 1-800-0545 to make your donation or send a check or money with PO Box 1750, Johnstown, Colorado 80534. That's PO Box 1750, Johnstown, Colorado 80534. Keep the voice of truth and freedom on the air. Thank you.
Reason to own gold. Brought to you by the Patriot Trading Group at allamericangold.com. Reason number 647. Most people don't even know that the courts have already ruled. Once money is deposited into the bank owns the money, and the depositor is merely an unsecured creditor of the bank, which means if the bank goes under, you get paid last. After the financial crisis, instead of breaking up too big to fail, the government and the Federal Reserve created Dodd-Frank and made too big to fail banks even bigger, while putting your deposits more at risk. I'm Joe Jakeman, CEO of the Patriot Trading Group. To learn more, visit us at allamericangold.com or call us at 800-951-0592.
All right, guys, welcome back to Riell Truth. Howard Riell behind the microphone. We're going to try and squeeze an entire week's worth of stuff into one day. That's my task, okay? I'm up to it. David Bossie, longtime Trump associate. He was in charge of one of the people in charge of running the campaign. Someone in the Trump administration resigned. And so naturally, the mainstream media is having an orgiastic field day heralding the end of the Trump presidency. Well, guys, here on Earth, the Trump presidency is doing just fine. Here's David Bossie on Fox and Friends this morning. Here we go. My friends, let me ask you a question. You put together a team. Is that the lineup forever? If you think the team can do better if you change personnel, shouldn't you? Don't you owe it to your team members, to your stockholders, to your stakeholders? Don't you owe it to the voters to improve things as they go along? Of course you do. Of course you do. You buy a house after a couple of years, it needs a coat of paint, it needs a new boiler, what have you, and you make improvements to keep it going in the same or in a better direction. Well, that's all Trump's doing. He's from private enterprise. He's used to firing people, adding people, having people leave. It's part of the game, but once the mainstream media gets it, oh-ho, it becomes Armageddon. Let's go back to David Bossie. He's absolutely right. And I was under the impression that the Trump administration was going to pull the press passes from certain outlets like the New York Times and the Washington Post and NBC and ABC and CBS and CNN. I don't know why they haven't done it. They should. And then go on with the briefings once you get the most vitriolic jackasses out of the room. Item from thesmokinggun.com. As if Tiger Woods' droopy-eyed booking photo was not embarrassing enough, Florida police videotaped the golf star as he stumbled through sobriety tests following his arrest early yesterday for driving under the influence. Yeah, my friends, take away from that what lesson you will. Success, monetary success, ain't all it's cracked up to be. We'll be right back.
And the inflection both among them, and we beheld his glory, the glory as of the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth. John bore witness of him and cried out, saying, This was he of whom I said, He who comes after me is preferred before me, for he was before me. The Gospel of John, chapter 1, verse 14 and 15. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just power from the consent of the governed. This is the America News Network.
Firefighters, we thank them for doing a great job keeping our area live, shop, and raise the family. We realize their job is dangerous, sometimes dangerous. But from Smith's Uniform Food Greeting, call 352-2233. They're on the air because they care. And fired out for America. Smith's, the uniform people in Greeley. Piccolo's restaurant in Denver reminds us that over 750,000 children were reported missing last year. Over 58,000 of these were abducted by non-family members. Keep an eye out for youngsters at play, and if you see anything suspicious, contact the authorities immediately. This message from Piccolo's restaurant in Denver is not only the best Italian and Mexican cuisine, it's the people who care. Give them a call at 303-757-5166. 303-757-5166. Piccolo.
Guys, you remember the name Jerome Corsi? Of course you do. Pulitzer Prize winning journalist, but his main claim to fame was that he's been a guest 2 or 3 times here on Riell Truth. Here he is being interviewed by Roger Stone, and they're talking about the murder of Seth Rich. And yes, I'm using the word murder. A lot of people are connecting it to the Democratic National Committee. They say Seth Rich was the guy who leaked their emails to WikiLeaks. Sorry, it wasn't Russia. But anyway, here's Jerome Corsi talking to Roger Stone. Thank you very much. My friends, I've been saying this for a very long time. Just this past week, I was contradicted by two people very familiar with Russia. One is a person who was born and raised in Russia. The other is a guy who does business in Russia, just spent a year there. And they thought they were schooling me. No, the Russians wanted Trump to win. They didn't want Hillary. Nonsense. Of course they wanted Hillary, because Hillary is malleable. Hillary could be bought off. Hillary could be blackmailed. Just like Barack Obama was a dimwit, coward, and weakling, and so they wrapped him around their fingers, they would have done exactly the same thing, only more so to Hillary Clinton. So the idea that the Russians wanted Donald Trump to be president has always been nonsense. Don't believe it. My friends in the state of Colorado, which went for Hillary in the election, are you hearing this? Are you hearing how filthy the Democrat Party is? Are you hearing what a nothing Hillary Clinton is, which is why the Russians wanted her to be president? Are you hearing about this guy Seth Rich being murdered when he was almost certainly the leaker to WikiLeaks? He would have taken away from the Democrats the whole Russian nonsense story. This is the party, my friends, that you voted for. How does that make you feel? Are you proud of having voted for this circus? For this collection of slime balls and criminals? Well, if you're not proud of it, good. Don't do it again. And if you are proud of it, lots of other countries you could live in. I'll tell you what I make of it, Roger, since you asked. You didn't ask me, but I'll tell you anyway. Their goal is not to find Russian collusion. Their goal is to do exactly what they're doing now, to continue to look for Russian collusion. They know there's no pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. They know they're not going to find anything. The idea is to keep the investigations proliferating, to keep them going, to keep them noisy, keep them in the public sphere, to keep people from recognizing that Trump is doing a superb job as president. They want as much controversy, as much smoke as possible. That's what they're after, and they're doing what they're after. It's a crime in progress right now. Let's go back to Corsi. Yeah, it's exactly correct, Dr. Corsi. Exactly right. This is all bait and switch. You remember back when Obama was president, if you said, hey, Obama did this and it was bad, what was the reflex response answer? The answer was, yeah, but Bush. That's what the Democrats are doing. They're conning the American people. We'll take a break and we'll be back, my friends. More Real Truth.
If you're taking 1, 2, 5, or more nutritional supplements, please stop. Simplify your supplementation with Bio Superfood, the most advanced nutritional whole food supplement you can buy. Men, women, children, even Olympic athletes the world over have discovered Bio Superfood from BioAge.com. And now take just one nutritional supplement instead of many. The Bio Superfood formulas are whole food products composed with 4 of the most nutrient-dense algae found on Earth. Bio Superfood for the brain helps with focus, memory, clarity, and food. If you can increase brain health, the rest of the body is a no-brainer. Bio Superfood has 0 toxicity and is safe for you and your family. Work home and order your Bio Superfood formulas at BioAge.com. Spelled BIOAGE.com. BioAge.com. Or call 877-288-9116. That's 877-288-9116. BioAge. The age of advanced organic. Now this is the testimony of John when the Jews sent priests and Levites from Jerusalem to ask him, who are you? He confessed and did not deny, but confessed, I am not the Messiah. And they asked him, what then? Are you Elijah? He said, I am not. Are you the prophet? And he answered, no. The Gospel of John, chapter 1, verse 19 through 21.
The associates at your 24-hour Walmart Supercenter not be ever. No one anywhere is more noble, righteous, selfless, courageous than our United States Armed Forces. These brave men and women and their families foot the bill for our freedom every day. Send a military care package today to let them know that they are in our hearts and our prayers and our thoughts. This message is from the associates at your 24-hour Walmart Supercenter on Highway 287 in Lafayette. They're on the air because they care. The Elizabeth Locker Plan in Elizabeth reminds our listeners that the drug problem is well documented. We know our kids will be approached at early age. We want to applaud the youngsters in our community who have had the strength to say no to drugs. They provide examples to their peers and families to be the best they can be. That's from Elizabeth Locker Plant, located at 366 Grant Street in Elizabeth, serving our area since 1943 and specializing in naturalized HD and pork and complete custom process. Call 303-688-2240. That's 303-688-2240. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America.
All right, my friends, welcome back. Real Truth marches on. Hannity from 4 days ago. Kimberly Guilfoyle sitting in, her guest, Michelle Malkin. Let's listen. My friends, the real threats to national security in America are always on the left. Always liberals. Always. And by the way, my friends, lest you think that it's the swamp versus Donald Trump, that's not the case. Yes, it's the leftist politicians, it's the leftist media, yes, it's the leftist deep state, all those things are true, but their enemy isn't really Donald Trump, ostensibly it is. Their enemy is you and your family and Americans nationwide. Their enemy is America. They don't want voters deciding what's going to be in this country. They want to decide for themselves. And you and I were obstacles on their way to power. So the real enemy, the real reason they're willing to lie to Americans is because Americans are their enemies. The Constitution is their enemy. Any honest politician is their enemy. These are the people who take money under the table in the hundreds of millions of dollars. You think they're going to give that up for you and me? It's not going to happen. You have them on both sides, but you have more on the left. The left consists of nothing but people like this. On the right, we can weed them out. On the left, there's no redemption for the left. And no redemption for people who support the left. Item from the Mirror. A robot preacher that beams light from its hands and can give automated blessings to the faithful has been launched in the town that gave fame to Martin Luther and the Protestant Reformation. 500 years after Luther published the 95 Theses in Wittenberg, kicking off the Reformation, an evangelical church launched a unique automated blessing robot for the special celebration in the historic town located in the German state of Saxony-Anhalt. Unquote. My friends, now you've got robot preachers. You tell me. We'll be back.
And of his fullness we have all received, and grace for grace. For the law was given through Moses, but grace and truth came through Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus the Christ. No one has seen God at any time. The only begotten Son, who is in the bosom of the Father, he has declared him. The Gospel of John, chapter 1, verse 16. Article 4. The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrant shall be issued but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the places to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. If catastrophe struck, would your family be prepared? Are you confident you wouldn't react in a panic? Is there one place to get all of your emergency supplies? Ferris Survival encourages you to have confidence through preparation, not panic through crisis. Ferris Survival, located at 3366 South Broadway, is a professional, reputable, full-service business providing quality, realistic preparedness supplies at an affordable price. Go online, stop by, or call 303-781-0343. Ferris Survival.
American Window Tinting Incorporated in Franktown reminds parents, keep an eye on your child while shopping. Children tend to stray or become lost. This poses an opportunity for a would-be abductor. Please make every effort to keep track of your little ones at all times. If you have information regarding a lost child, call local authorities at once. This message is from American Window Tinting Incorporated in Franktown. For residential or commercial window tinting, call 303-263-4228.
All right, guys, we're back. Riell Truth. Remember, this is the only day this week that we're on. After this show goes off the air, you won't hear from me again until Monday. But in the meantime, get Riell Truth. Stay angry. You can get the book version, the electronic version. Go to Amazon, go to Barnes & Noble, go to virtualbookworm.com. Get it, read it, love it. And that's all I have to say. Well, it's not really. Tucker Carlson talking about, well, you and I hoped that after the last presidential election, Hillary Clinton would crawl back under the front porch and stay there until it was time for us to read her obituary. No such luck. She was at Wellesley this past weekend, yammering and yammering. Here's Tucker Carlson from Fox News. What a lying pig. What a pig. What a pig. How about maybe if Hillary Clinton weren't a dishonest piece of slime, maybe things would have gone a different way. Absolutely incorrect. This chick's name is Crystal Ball. Well, she ought to get a crystal ball and look into it. Trump ran an historic campaign. He had all the powers in the universe arrayed against him and still won. So I don't know what this chick did to get her job, or who she did, or what she did. She's a pretty girl. But she must not have been watching the same presidential race that we were. Trump ran an amazing campaign. He should never have won, but he did anyway. My friends, this girl was a Joe Biden supporter and a Bernie Sanders supporter. So you tell me, how many IQ points could she possibly have? Joe Biden is known far and wide as the premier rectum of Washington, D.C. Bernie Sanders is a socialist, so he wants America to look more like Venezuela, which is going through its death throes now. Those are the two people that this chick wants. You know what? I have such an aversion to stupidity that I'm not going to continue to play this video because I don't want to listen to more stupidity. I just can't take it. It's that simple. Item from Breitbart, the Jerusalem Post reports, the Knesset and the Congress will jointly mark 50 years since the reunification of Jerusalem in an event scheduled to be broadcast on live video link between the two legislatures next Tuesday. The move could be viewed as tacit recognition by the White House of Jerusalem as Israel's capital and spark controversy. Unquote. My friends, Israel, its capital, always has been, always will be, is Jerusalem. Anyone who tells you anything differently is either lying to you or has had part of his or her brain removed. Item from Breitbart, during his last year in office, President Barack Obama nearly doubled the number of juvenile illegal aliens who were given legal status and a pathway to permanent residence. Under the EB-4 visa, illegal alien juveniles living in the U.S. can become classified as special immigrant juveniles and petition to receive legal status under the visa program. Subsequently, the program has become a backdoor amnesty, where migrants under the age of 21 can file for the special legal status so long as they claim their parents have either abused, abandoned, or neglected them. So in other words, Barack Obama made it possible for illegals to come here simply by lying. Isn't that a Muslim strategy? Yeah, it is. We'll be back.
Beloved, do not believe every spirit, but test the spirits, whether they are God, because many false prophets have gone into the world. By this you will know the Spirit of God. Every spirit that confesses that Yeshua, Jesus, has come in the flesh is of God, and every spirit that does not confess that Yeshua, Jesus, has come in the flesh is not of God. And this is the spirit of Antichrist, which you have already heard was coming and is now already in the world. 1 John 4:1.
No state shall enter into any treaty, alliance, or confederation, grant letters of marque or reprisal, coin money, emit bills of credit, make anything but gold and silver coin a tender in payment of debt, pass any bill of attainder, ex post facto law, or law impairing the obligation of contracts, or grant any title of nobility. Article 1, Section 10.
Uniform people in Greeley, police, firefighters, work in art. We thank them for doing a great job. Live, shop, and raise the family. We realize their job is dangerous. Time spent. This message from uniform people in Greeley called 230. They're on the air because they care. America. This is the uniform people in Greeley. Piccolo's restaurant in Denver reminds us that over 750,000 children were reported missing last year. Over 58,000 of these were abducted by non-family members. Keep an eye out for youngsters at play, and if you see anything suspicious, contact the authorities immediately. This message from Piccolo's restaurant in Denver. Not only the best Italian and Mexican cuisine, it's the people who care. Give them a call at 303-757-5166. 303-757-5166. Piccolo.
We're not done yet, my friends. We still got some news to go. Let's hit some news before we sign off for the week. Item from Breitbart. Left-wing news outlet Vox attacked Marines on Memorial Day, claiming in an article that the Marine Corps has, quote, a toxic masculinity problem. The article, which is simply titled "The Marine Corps Has a Toxic Masculinity Problem," continues to claim that the Marine Corps often, quote, marginalizes or mistreats female troops, unquote. Well, my friends, toxic masculinity is a phrase used by people who would like to geld all males. Not going to happen. Item from Breitbart: a combination of government benefits and low-interest loans meant to pay for further education were used to fund the terror plot of Manchester killer Salman Abedi, police believe. Police are investigating the finances of university dropout turned Islamist killer Salman Abedi and was in receipt of thousands of pounds of government money before the attack, reports the Daily Telegraph. Police sources told the paper the killer even got government handouts while he was abroad in Libya, where it's believed he was being trained in bomb making, unquote. My friends, where you have Muslims, you have stuff like this. Item also from Breitbart: CNN's W. Kamau Bell devoted a recent episode of his series United Shades of America to exploring Muslim and Arab communities. Aside from some interesting vignettes, the program is left-wing anti-Trump propaganda that firmly establishes the network's political bias. Bell also serves up some historical distortions of the sort spoon-fed to undergraduates on politically correct campuses, such as the claim that Islam has always been present in the United States. Quote, Islam has always been part of the American fabric, one Muslim man in Detroit tells Bell at an anti-Trump event. Quote, a lot of people think Islam is from a foreign country or is a foreign religion. It's not. It's very American, unquote. He goes on to criticize, quote, those more violent voices in our society, and does not mean radical Islamists. Bell is so impressed that he asks the man, when are you running for mayor? Comparing him to, quote, a young Barack Obama, unquote. My friends, if you've been watching CNN and you've been hearing this stuff, well, you deserve what you get for being stupid. Don't ever listen to the lies on CNN. Item from InfoWars: a pig's head, feet, and innards were left on 5-foot-tall spikes at the site of a proposed mosque in the German city of Erfurt. Police are investigating the incident after the pig remains were discovered at the building site on Monday, Focus Online reports. The site, which has already been the subject of protests in the area, is the planned home of a new mosque for the Ahmadiyya sect of Islam, which routinely faces persecution from other Muslims, unquote. My friends, if you've been waiting for Muslims to get together and learn to live in peace with non-Muslims, well, first you better hope they learn to live in peace with other Muslims. Item from InfoWars: an SUV plowed through a crowd outside a Spanish beach club popular with British travelers as reports emerge that tourism companies are hiring UK military veterans to patrol Spain's tourist hotspots amid fear of anticipated jihad attacks. At least 6 pedestrians are injured when the driver of an Audi SUV barreled onto the sidewalk at a high rate of speed outside the Ocean Club in Marbella, Spain during their annual champagne party, before a police chase that ended in multiple crashes, wounding more innocents, including a baby, and the arrest of 2 men identified as Britons, unquote. My friends, we're going to have to leave it there. I will be back on Monday. Enjoy Shavuos. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Stay holy. Stay angry. Hasta luego.